This is Passe Partout.
Good morning to you, and I thank you for joining us. We have breaking news for you overnight. In Lafayette, 3 people are in the hospital this morning after a drive-by shooting. This was the scene around 2 this morning. According to Lafayette police, around 10:40 last night, they were there responding to reports of shots being fired in the 700 block of Helena Street. An investigation indicates that the victims were at a party when an unknown vehicle passed and began shooting. 3 victims were found with gunshot wounds. Officers began performing life-saving medical aid to one of the victims until he could be transported to a local hospital, we're told. 1 victim was in critical condition. A juvenile victim is in critical but stable condition. And a 3rd victim, we're told, sustained non-life-threatening injuries. If anyone has any information regarding this incident, please contact the Lafayette Police Department or Lafayette Crime Stoppers, and that number for you is 232-TIPS. Then Lafayette police responded to a shooting in the 2500 block of West Congress Street. The 20-year-old male victim was shot by an unknown suspect. Now, the suspect, we're told, produced a weapon and shot a person. The victim was transported to an area hospital and is listed in critical condition. Lafayette police once again is urging anyone with any information to please contact them or Lafayette Crime Stoppers. Then let's go to Ville Platte, where 1 person is dead after a homicide late Friday night. News 10 Kai Price was at that scene, and he tells us how the shooting is affecting that community there.
I'm here on the corner of Martin Luther King Drive and Court Street where this incident took place. I spoke to a resident in the area about the shooting, and she says enough is enough. A resident who chooses to remain anonymous lives near the area and says she was sitting in her home when she heard multiple gunshots coming from outside.
I was home sitting down and I heard 5 shots, pow, 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 pow. And that's when I stood up, and that's when I noticed the boy was running across the field right there, and he was coming into my yard, and I told him no. I didn't want nothing. I said, y'all done did something, y'all ain't got no business. Keep on going. And he ran.
She says she walked to the corner where she saw a car parked and a person running. Then she saw the victim unresponsive on the ground.
I walked to the corner and I seen it was a red car parked where it was running, and from there the person was lying down. You couldn't tell who he was until finally they moved him around, and that's when I noticed it was a young black man that was on the ground with bullets in him.
The resident says the neighborhood has shootings often, but this one felt too close to home.
We have shooting all the time, and that was too close to my home, right by my house. And I was so nervous. I left my door open and I ran.
She adds the neighborhood has not been getting the help they need to put a stop to the violence.
We really need help because we don't have the help that we really need. It's not enough, officer. Ain't nothing being done right.
The homicide is still under investigation. In Ville Platte, Kai Price, KLFY, News 10.
Yeah, and the media so far has not yet been informed about the victim's identity. So let's go to Lafayette. Come here now. A juvenile and a Lafayette woman were arrested after a shooting that stemmed from an attempted robbery. Now, this happened Friday morning on Dale Street. Lafayette police say when officers arrived, they learned 21-year-old Mary Taplin and a juvenile attempted to rob the victim. The attempted robbery led to the juvenile shooting the victim. The victim is in the hospital, and we're told in stable condition. Both Taplin and the juvenile are charged with attempted first-degree murder. In St. Landry Parish, firefighters from across the parish worked together Wednesday for over 8 hours fighting a fire that burnt nearly 100 acres. News 10's Zhang Hogue brings us a recap of that event and the impact the fire had on the parish's burn ban.
Here in St. Landry Parish, today's rain is providing much-needed assistance after firefighters spent over 8 hours battling a fire that burned nearly 100 acres in Bayou Jack.
It sounded like somebody was burning some trees in their backyard, and it got out of hand. and then with the wind picking up like it did, it moved that fire in different directions. So at one time we had 3 separate fires burning in the fields.
Firefighters in District 7 of St. Landry Parish got the call of a large fire on Jim's Camp Road just after 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Because the flames were deep in the campgrounds and only accessible through small roads, the flames reached nearly 100 acres, and it took as many as 60 firefighters from different departments over 8 hours to contain it.
We had to contact the Department of Ag and Forestry for their forestry team to come in and help. They brought in 4 dozers and manpower and was able to get in those areas where we couldn't get to. We had 4 dozers out there that was just making fire breaks.
As the flames are now extinguished and today's rain is helping bring moisture to the ground, Bellard is grateful no one lost their home or camp supplies.
We were very lucky that no structures were involved. It was just wooded area. It was a hunting club, and so I think we did a great job of what we had to work with, and the availability of the people was a great thing.
As a result of last night's fire and the weather conditions, Bellard has reinstated the burn ban across St. Landry Parish until further notice. I'm Zane Hogue for KLFY News 10.
Yes, and that was earlier in the week last week. So in St. Mary Parish, a Jeanerette man is dead after a vehicle crash. 59-year-old John Tardy, we're told, lost his life. It happened just after 2 a.m. Saturday morning on Highway 90. State police say for reasons still under investigation, Tardy crossed through the median and struck truck head on. He was unrestrained and died at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was also, we're told, unrestrained and is in the hospital with moderate injuries. Then, Livingston Parish student could lose it all. This after a high school principal allegedly punished her for a dancing video on social media.
This is a video of Kaylee Timonat. She's on the left wearing neon green.
Basically, the school is saying that my dance moves were like inappropriate and vulgar. And in the video, one of my friends, they were dancing and I was behind her, like, you know, just having fun, hyping my friend up.
Timonat has been a dancer since age 2. She's also a student at Walker High School. On the night of September 30th, Timonat was enjoying what she thought was innocent fun at a non-school function after homecoming.
I was told that I was the only one in the video and that I had to be the example.
I was at the party myself, and I actually even watched the dancing.
The highlight of senior year quickly ruined when Timonat was called into the principal's office 3 days later for, quote, inappropriate dancing, that same type of dancing shown in this video of a school pep rally.
They saw a video and like that they were kind of ashamed of what I was doing and everything like that. I just started busting out crying.
Timonat is an outstanding student with many leadership roles and a prestigious scholarship. All of that is now on the line.
Since I have my name to so many different things at the school, that I had kind of like higher stipulations on what I can and cannot do.
Rachel Timonat, Kaylee's mom, says she was upset to learn that her daughter was sent to the principal's office.
A child is not going to defend themselves against an adult, especially your principal and your assistant principal.
Kaylee's mom says her daughter was also asked about her religion and forced to watch the video again.
Is this any type of religious-based school?
No, ma'am. This is a completely public school. I just know he's very strong in his faith. They were worried about my afterlife because I wasn't exactly fitting God's ideals. And Mr. St. Pierre printed me out some Bible verses.
But now, the 17-year-old left feeling distraught and embarrassed is getting some support. Kids at Walker High are wearing buttons to school saying, "Let the girl dance," and T-shirts to the football game.
Before they even saw that, they were ready to defend me because it wasn't a school-sanctioned event.
We reached out to Livingston Parish Public Schools for a comment. A spokesperson for the district emailed the statement saying the incident remains under investigation, and Kaylee's future still unknown.
Hearing that the best thing was taken away absolutely broke my heart. It was more than just a high school thing. That's my future on the line.
So in world news, President Biden spoke yesterday afternoon following the news of Hamas attacking Israel from the Gaza Strip. Biden reiterated support for Israel, saying, "Make no mistake, the United States stands with Israel." The attack has killed at least 250 people in Israel so far, and hundreds more are reportedly injured.